Hey everybody, welcome to the Fluential and Friends podcast, where the story of your life can help somebody else's life story. My name is Joseph Ortiz. I'm here with my two guests today. I have Andrea and Xavier. How are we doing today, guys?
Feeling good. I'm really excited, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired from the day, but I'm ready for this.
Yeah, you guys are training
for sure.
clients all day, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Man, people don't, and well, the thing is with you guys are in there 5 a.m. sometimes training your clients.
Every day.
Every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday.
Yeah.
So, including Saturdays, yes.
Yeah. So you guys have a reason to be a little tired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, we just pushed through though.
You know what? That's
You
the life
have
of
to.
that's the life of a trainer, right?
Yeah.
I know
Life of an entrepreneur.
a life of an entrepreneur, business owner, right?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of trainers, entrepreneurs, business owners right now that are up at 4 a.m. every single day, and they're busting their ass to make shit work.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
So because of that, I want to thank you guys for taking the time after your long day to come to the studio, sit down with me, and have an awesome conversation.
I've been looking forward to it.
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Maybe in my bed, but
We can do the podcast next time within the privacy of your house. I'll come to you
with
guys.
Rambo.
With
Yeah.
Rambo, with your
That's
puppy.
right.
We'll have him huffing and puffing the entire time on a microphone. He has a French bulldog, guys. So
Yeah. Be
Mascot
snoring
of the
everywhere.
gym.
yeah. So for people who don't know what you are or who you guys are, obviously you guys are personal trainers. But if you guys don't mind, like where you guys train at, what exactly do you guys do with your clients? What's your kind of your specialty?
You gotta start.
So my name is Andrea. I am a personal trainer. I also own my own gym, my private training facility, Savage Fit Club in Ontario, California. I train exclusively women. I do weight loss specifically, but I also do muscle gain, all areas of fitness. And I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. As a personal trainer, sometimes I'm a therapist. I'm a boss, I guess you could say, to some of my trainers. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm a dog mom too.
Had to top it off.
Yeah, I'm a dog.
Xavier, of course. Some people call me X, but as far as personal training goes, I specialize in all ages, I would say. Definitely focused more on the traditional aspect of weightlifting, building overall strength, not just for you to look good, but also to feel good, to move better, and be more confident. I think that's kind of the direction I've been taking the training lately, is pushing my clients to feel more confident in themselves, because that confidence not only feeds themselves within the gym, but within every aspect of their life outside the gym. Business owner for Savage Fit Club, along with my wife and our colleague Griffin. I've owned a meal prep company, been a personal trainer before. And Savage Season, I do have some merch. I haven't put up a lot of stuff recently, but every so often I at least do 1 or 2 drops here and there, as far as throwing out some merch out there for the gym people at Savage Fit Club. So a husband, dog owner as well, and just trying to live each day to just be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, and I love the point you pointed out for being a personal trainer and making people feel good, because in reality, that is our job, right? Our job is to make people optimal in their day-to-day life. It's more than just teaching people how to be good in the gym. It's how to teach them how to be great in life.
Absolutely.
We want people to always be able to thrive and strive in every aspect. And so when we teach people the discipline of being able to control their own bodies, it translates to other aspects of life, especially business owners. So I know we train a lot of people who own businesses and who are entrepreneurs. And one thing that I always hear is that once they get their health in check, it translates over to their business. They develop almost a hyper focus that leads into their business meetings. It translates over into their employees, and it basically helps out with their family life as well, because now they're more active, they're more lively, they sleep better, they feel better, they act better, and overall it just helps out. It's like an umbrella effect.
Oh yeah.
Building discipline within the gym and within your diet, it's gonna you're going to gain discipline in all areas of your life.
Yeah, it carries on. It translates to everything. You
Yep.
know, if you're able to, like you said, take control of being able to adhere to what you're trying to accomplish in the gym, it's going to just feed off into every aspect of your life.
Mind, body, and soul.
Absolutely. So, but before you guys were these personal trainers and gym owners, I do want to touch on who you guys were prior. Now, Andrea, I know your story is really cool. I truly, truly enjoy it because you kind of came from this kind of almost like immigrant background, right? So you came from Guatemala at a year old.
Correct.
And you kind of, you and your family, right, kind of had to learn from scratch how to be successful.
Yes.
So if you don't mind going into the story, especially with your dad and how he kind of instilled these entrepreneur life lessons into you.
Okay, so came here at a year old, or a little under a year old. Came from Guatemala. Most of my family still is in Guatemala. And coming here, obviously, I mean, we don't remember much of our childhood up until a certain point, but I do always remember my dad, more specifically, being a very hardworking man. My dad started his business in 2004, which was the same year that my brother was born. And I was 5 years old. Yeah, I'm sorry, but my dad started his business in 2000 when my brother was born, and I was 5 years old. So ever since then, I've seen my dad get up bright and early. Sometimes he would take me to school. That sometimes it would be after him getting off of work, because he had multiple jobs. And then I wouldn't see him until 9 p.m. at night, if anything. And what I really learned from my dad was that anything was possible, but with hard work. And there was never a day that I saw him not working. On the weekends, he would take me to Sam's Club or Office Depot, or it was actually mostly Staples that he would take me, because he does a lot of like office work and stuff. He's a businessman. And there we were, picking up office chairs, picking up printers, picking up printer paper, loading it into the car, taking it to all the offices. Or on Sundays, it would be family day, and we would go out to lunch, and then we would go to all the offices, because my dad has multiple offices all over Southern California and in Mexico as well. And that's always what I saw. I saw my dad just always working. And what really stood out to me was that, I don't know why, but him being a small business owner, he always did like the small business owner cards, like at Sam's Club and stuff. And they always had a small business like little like aisles that were specific for that. And I don't know why it always stood out to me. I'm like, that's so cool, like to have your own thing. And that's all I've ever known. My parents never worked for anyone else. They always worked for themselves. And I always thought that was the ultimate thing that you could do, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like the background that I've seen as far as entrepreneurs. And I never grew up having any sort of drive to have a certain career. And up until I was like around 24 years old, I didn't feel like I was destined to do anything but have my own business. What business? I didn't really know, because I wasn't really passionate about anything until I got around that age. But I just knew that I wanted to do something on my own, started on my own, and for it to be exactly the way that I wanted it to be.
So when you were growing up, did you ever have like the tendency to be like a hustler, right? Because usually when we see these entrepreneurs that grow up and have their own businesses, they always kind of have this like, oh, in middle school I used to sell candy to my classmates, I used to sell shoes, yada yada yada. Did you ever do anything like that too as a kid growing up?
You would think, right? Because like I'm saying, like I saw my dad like be hustlers from the very beginning and do anything by any means possible, by any means necessary to be successful and provide my family with absolutely anything that we wanted. But that was not the case personally. I never really had that drive, like I was saying, to do anything for myself. I don't know if that's because my dad did provide a lot of that for us, for my family, but I never really had that trait inside of me to do something extra.
Yeah, go knock on doors, sell stuff.
Go the extra mile. That was never me. I was always looking to take a shortcut.
So what was kind of your plans as you were growing up? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do? Like, did you actually want to get a career, or did you always knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur, just not exactly in what field?
No desire to do anything. So, and that's just being like completely transparent.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what it was going to be. I just knew that I wanted to be successful in whatever it is that I was going to do. And I knew that I could work hard, but I never knew. And I remember being in high school, and I went to high school with a lot of people who were really smart. And everyone wanted to be doctors and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to try to pretend like I want to do something because I don't want to do anything, or I don't know what it is that I wanted to do. And it really wasn't, nothing sparked my interest. I always said I wanted to do this, that. I wanted to be an artist. I remember I told my dad, I want to be an artist when I grow up, because my grandma always liked to paint. I like to paint with her. And he said, artists don't make money.
That nowadays,
nowadays that's totally different. But that, like, I remember that hit me in my heart, and I was like, well, my dad is not going to let me be an artist because just not going to be able to make money. So I guess that's not what I'm going to do. And that was the only thing that I really wanted to do when I was a kid. I'm not artistic. Don't think that I'm artistic, but that's just the one thing that I wanted to do. And I remember my senior year, I took 2 classes that were really significant to me. And that was my health class. That's the one that is that you're mandated to take, you know, in like public school in California, just like regular health ed class, and a strength training. What is it? What was it called? Weightlifting class. Those 2 classes changed my life. And that was in high school. And the reason why is because once my health teacher started talking about food and what was in it and what's the good stuff and what's the bad stuff, I was like, I love food. And it's really interesting to know like what more about it. It's something that we deal with every single day is our food, right? I don't care about science, I don't care about anything like that, but food, like I can like, it sparked my interest. And then weightlifting, because it was like kind of fun, and I thought it was like kind of badass at the same time, even though I was not fit. But I was just really interested in like all the guys are doing it and all the girls would always sit out. And I was like, I kind of want to be that girl that's like doing it, even though I really suck. Like, I kind of want to get better at that. Yeah. And that was what sparked my interest, especially when I was in high school.
Yeah, especially probably because most likely around that time is probably when it was a little more taboo for women to be in the weight room.
Absolutely. It was 2012, 2013.
Right. So that's probably like right when the transition barely started to happen. So back around that time, I was going to 24-Hour Fitness in Fontana. It was like the old Active. And I remember they would have separated sections. They would have a section with weightlifting and a completely cut off section for cardio. And so the weightlifting area would be really musty and like nasty. All the men would be in there. And then you look at the cardio area and it would be
all
filled with women, right? Yep. And I know even some gyms took it the extra mile, and they would actually have a separate weight room for women, and the machines were like pink and purple, and then the like men's
the smaller dumbbells.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Like the fives.
Yeah,
and
so
the
I
twos.
know a lot of gyms used to do that.
Yeah.
And then when they closed that gym down and made the bigger Super Sport in Fontana, it was just one giant weight room blended in, and there was like no cutoff rooms for the cardio. And so like it forced the women to have to go weight lift with the men.
Yeah.
And it basically forced women to be a little bit more comfortable. And it's probably not the right way to say it, but I think it is the reality of the situation, because for the women who did want to get stronger, they had to go over there and weight lift, no matter how uncomfortable it made them feel. And I understand that men can't and won't always be the most respectful, especially in the gym situation.
Yeah,
I think it's more about the type of men that are in the gym.
You could elaborate.
Yeah, explain, please.
Because, like, I mean, like, think about the type of guys that you run into, like, at a commercial gym. You know what I mean? Most of the time, those guys are not the most knowledgeable. They're very ego-driven, ego-lift.
Shots fired.
And they can be intimidating for most women, because the women that go to these commercial gyms are the ones that possibly and most likely don't know a lot about the gym either. So it's like a total imbalance, right? It's yin and yang, and then you put them together and there's not always a balance.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I think
it's a little bit better now, right? Because now it's more common.
Oh, and it's so,
it's more,
there's a very positive energy around women in the gym, and now it's so important for men to be respectful, right?
Oh, definitely. And I think
in the gym,
I think nowadays, especially even me as a man, seeing Andrea or even some of the trainers in the gym or even someone on social media that's a female that's lifting heavy weight, and I'm like, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
You know? And then back then, but I can kind of see what she was saying as far as the commercial gyms, those guys, you know, I used to be one of those guys as well. You know, you're in the gym and you're focused, you're in like the dumbbell section, the weight section. You're kind of, most men are kind of like in their own mind when they're working out, like just focus and mean face and just like don't bother me.
So much testosterone.
So much testosterone. And I can see why that could be intimidating.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when it first started to happen, right? Because it was a little more uncommon, like I said. So when it
Mm-hmm.
first started to happen and the women first started to go into the more weight room, there is a learning curve that had to come with it.
Yeah.
There still is. And you know what? Sometimes we forget because we're trainers and we're around each other every single day.
That's very true. Because obviously the setting that we're personally in is a smaller, more comfortable setting, and we're used to having women in there that are weightlifting.
Yes.
It's more accepted, I guess.
Yeah, into our setting, right? And that's the reason why more of the serious lifters are usually in the smaller mom and pop gyms nowadays.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
And they start to get away from the commercial setting,
Yes.
right? Not to say if you go to a commercial gym, you don't know how to weight lift, because there's a lot of good weightlifters that go to commercial gyms. I always do that because otherwise people are going to be like,
Oh yeah, I'll crabby about it. No,
where
it's
you
it's just
train,
different environments.
where you train doesn't matter
correct.
as long as you're consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, you get extra points if you train at Savage Fit Club. But
Hey.
that's just my personal opinion.
So, but the funny thing is, you weren't always the weightlifter Andrea.
Oh no.
And that's what I really want to dig into. So before you were this weightlifter Andrea who is doing photo shoots with Anna Cherie and you were a completely different person,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's kind of go back. Who were you back then? What was your situation? What was your mindset when it came to fitness?
So, to give you a general idea of the type of person that I was pertaining fitness, in 8th grade, I failed gym, 7th and 8th grade, I failed gym class because I would try to cut the mile and then I would not make the cutoff time for the mile, which was 15 minutes.
Hey.
You're that person.
I was that person. I wasn't overweight until my junior year because I stopped playing basketball. To rewind a little bit, during basketball, I refused to run during my practices because I just didn't like to. But I mean, basketball did keep me in shape a little bit. And then once I got my junior year and I stopped playing because I switched schools, essentially my big appetite along with my zero desire to work out made me extremely overweight. To give anyone an idea, I'm around 5'8", 5'9", and I was pushing close to 190 in high school, and I was eating Taco Bell every single day because my mom would take me, and I thought that was awesome. And also eating burritos, you know, most days too for lunch, and hot Cheetos inside my cup of noodles. So that's what I like to eat. Bad habits and stuff, and I was overweight. I remember my junior year, I remember feeling some type of way because none of my clothes from last year fit. And I'm like, what is it? You know, am I eating too much? Or I couldn't really pinpoint. I'm like, I think it's maybe because I'm not playing basketball anymore. And what was really scary was having to get new jeans every few months. And I spoke about that recently on my Instagram, that I got to a point where I couldn't fit into the junior size section. You know, this was a few years ago, so maybe things are more size inclusive now. But at the time, it didn't go past the size 12 in juniors. And juniors are technically, most of the time, they're a little smaller than ladies' clothes. So I remember I couldn't fit in a size 12 in juniors. I was at the Montclair Mall. And I was like, okay, so then what do I do? And my mom's like, well, let's go to Macy's and let's go to the ladies section. And I didn't fit into a size 12 in the ladies section, and I had to buy a size 16. Okay. And at this point, I wasn't that aware of where my body image was at. My mind wasn't really there. I was a teenager. I wasn't that aware of the way people viewed me, or I wasn't worried about the way I viewed myself until that moment where I was like, I'm pretty big then if I'm a size 16.
And around this time, were you ever getting comments from friends and family about your weight?
I did. I got some from like my classmates and stuff. I always got comments about my size just because I am a bigger girl.
Taller.
Yeah. Taller and, you know, a little bit bigger too. I always had big feet. I always had big hands and stuff. Sometimes my parents would comment like, maybe you should not eat so much, because I would always get like second, third plate, fourth plate at dinner. I always had a big appetite. But like I said, I think when it comes to body image, I think it could be around 50 or 40% the way others view you and the way you view yourself, right? So if you're happy with the person that you are on the inside and on the outside, then those outside comments won't get to you so much. And that's where kind of I was. It wasn't until I had to take a look at where I was at with my body, where I was like, oh, I can't be the only one that is worried about me, right? And and then I started realizing more that people were realizing, because like I said, I was getting bigger and bigger by the second, technically, like, and I didn't understand how to fix the problem, because my mom made me food every day for dinner, and then we were going out for Taco Bell, you know. I just didn't know where to begin. And the only thing I could think of was eating less, but my appetite didn't let me.
Right.
Like, and when you're a kid, like, and you're growing and, you know, you're just in your routine, and then your mom is kind of like in charge of your routine in a way, you don't really have much control of that. Right. And I remember senior year, it was the beginning of my senior year. Everyone was getting like dates to dances and stuff like that. And I had this date to a dance, and then he told me, we're not going to go, like, it was kind of like boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing. And he told me, I don't want to go to homecoming with you because of the way that you look.
Wow.
And I was like,
Was that like the first hard hit?
Oh yeah, especially from a boy at that age.
And your senior year.
My senior year, I had never been to a dance. I had never been asked to a dance. So he technically was the first guy who ever asked me to a dance. And he kind of retracted the invitation because of the way that I looked. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to do something about this, right? And this was around the time where I was learning about like the health class, and I was in my strength training or my weightlifting class. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to eat healthy, and I don't know exactly how to do that. I'm going to have to look online how to even like structure this, right? But you kind of know. I'm like, okay, so I should probably eat oatmeal for breakfast, right?
So, but during this time, after that happened, what were you feeling? Like, were you angry? Were you feeling sad for yourself? Were you motivated? Like, what was the drive to make you want to do this research and change now?
It was more like fed up.
Okay.
Like,
because you already knew how you looked.
Mm-hmm.
You were comfortable with it, but now since you got this comment, that it kind of made all the years of realization kind of come together in one big punch.
It all smacked me in the face when that happened. You know, you slowly start to feel uncomfortable with yourself. I'm like, I am big, but I'm not that big until someone says it, you're big, and you're like, I guess I am. Other people see it too. And it was really like, it hurt my heart when, you know, someone else made me feel bad about myself. And I was like, okay, like, this is pretty horrible. And then I just remember, like, I wrote down in my binder, I was like, Andrea is like the new Andrea, I think I wrote. Because I was like, I'm not going to let this ever happen to me again. That's what I never wanted to feel that ever again. I felt so bad about myself. Like crying, and I'm not a crier, and the fact that I let someone else determine the way that I felt about myself. That was mostly it, right? And so I wanted to get healthy, and I wanted to lose weight, just like most girls do, right? And I did it. I stuck to my word. I put full effort into my weightlifting class. I ate clean is what I did. So the clean eating diet, eating oatmeal for breakfast, eating yogurt and just chicken and salad. And I stuck to it. I don't know how. I've never stuck to anything in my life, but in those months, I stuck to it, and I lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And I got a date to the homecoming dance still.
And you weren't, and this is a part I want people to realize. You weren't tracking your macros.
No.
You weren't doing any of this. You were just, you were eating less and moving more.
Yes.
And
making just better choices. And I remember I'm like, I'm not gonna have any more Taco Bell, and I'm not gonna get a second plate when my mom asked me if I want a second plate. It was like those small little changes that made something like a huge difference. I would go running every single day, even though I hated running. I would go, and then I would try to do like workout videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I lost, and I would step on the scale every day, and I'm like, okay, I lost like another 5 pounds. Cool.
Yeah.
And I just kept it going until I lost 50 pounds. And I'm like, I don't think I need to lose any more.
Yeah. And so that's a problem with weight loss, right? When people see social media and they see people with meal plans, they see people with tracking their macros, they think they have to do these things in order to lose weight. Don't get me wrong. It helps to have that, right?
Sure.
But that's like if it's trainer prescribed, it's different. But if you don't know where to start, all you have to do is move more, eat less.
Correct.
And I know it sounds easy on paper, but like you said, you took these little steps every single day, and at the end of the month, you had a big result.
Yes.
You would constantly lose weight because you did it consistently, and that's going to be.
I never cheated.
You never cheated.
Never
that's
cheated.
The key here, right? So a lot of people, they do something for 5 or 6 days. Saturday comes, they go out and party with their friends.
Never
they drink.
cheated.
And then they wonder why they're not getting their results. And in their head, they're thinking, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right. I deserve it Saturday. I deserve it on Saturday. I deserve it on the weekend. I deserve it for this holiday. I deserve it for this party. And it's like, no, you need to get that stigma out of your head and stick to it.
But you know what? The reason why I didn't cheat, and like I've never stuck to anything in my life, like nothing. Like I was never, like I said, a driven person. Nothing. But the reason why I stuck to it was because I was like, I'm gonna feel worse about myself if I cheat. I'm like, you're really not mad at the way that like,
and that's
you
because
view
you
yourself.
made the commitment to yourself.
Yep.
Yes.
You made it. You made that commitment to yourself, and you said, I'm going to do it no matter what. And that's the big thing. A lot of people, they don't make that mental switch, and you did.
Oh, it's hard to say this without sounding harsh, but you won't cheat if you really are fed up with the way that you feel about yourself.
You're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was. And unfortunately, I gained it all back and more.
And why is that?
There's not really like an excuse for gaining weight, right? As an adult, I think I just got comfortable being in a relationship with Xavier. You know, going out with friends, finally started drinking, going out to bars, going out to eat after bars, just life. And
so I do want to point something out though. So you said you originally lost weight because that boy rejected you, and now you lost the weight you got in a relationship, and so that carrot you're chasing, you received it.
Oh yes.
And now since Xavier was the carrot,
you're making me look bad. I'm just
no,
kidding.
it's the reality though, right?
Yeah, it happens.
It's the reality, because this is what happens, right? People go through a breakup and they get the revenge body. They end up getting in another relationship, and now they're comfortable. And I think people need to realize that you sometimes, when you have these minor goals, you're going to fall off when you reach your carrot.
Or when you just get comfortable.
Or when you get comfortable.
When you get comfortable.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so you gain the weight back now. You're comfortable in your new relationship. So what is your second motivation to get back in shape that is now catapulting you long term?
Right.
So this is the part where a lot of people need to listen.
Yes. And the thing is, I tell people, I'm like, if you could do it once, you could do it again. Yeah. And I'm like a true testimony to that, because I remember I kind of fell off because the novelty of it wore off.
You're human.
Right? I'm human.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens. And I thought once I lost the weight, like, I'm good. I lost it.
Yeah.
And it kind of was like that for maybe 6 months. Right? Where it kind of like maintained. And then after I stopped working out so much, because like I said, I had done what I thought the work was done.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that maintenance is the hardest part. And I gained the weight and then some. So at this point, I'm like 210 pounds.
Oh, wow. So
yes.
from 190 being your heaviest, now you broke your PR.
Oh, yeah, I did. I sure did.
What was the timeline from that, you think?
210.
From
I lost my lowest was 2013, 147, I believe. I remember specifically maybe 146. 210 was 2018.
Okay.
5 years.
5 years of gaining solid weight back.
Yeah.
I was still working out, but my eating habits were horrible. Trying to track macros, always fell off on the weekend. Always went over my macros too, and just like inconsistency. Yeah. The weekends were bad.
Weekend
for
warrior.
us.
That's what I call the people who
Weekend warriors.
Oh,
that's a good one.
People who stay on
I had
track.
a medal for that. Big time.
That's actually good. I'm gonna create a medal.
A medal, yes. Yeah, I'll hand them to people because I'm the definition of that.
Make a picture of it, send it out. So
put me on the trophy. Anyways, so the thing is that the person that I was, back in high school, transpired over the years too. Like I just wasn't driven, right? So I got comfortable in my relationship and the person that I was. I stopped being driven. I got a new job that was just enough. Everything was just enough until it was not enough.
Yeah.
Right. And I felt completely. I was at this point 23, 24 years old. No direction of where I was going to go in my life. And I was overweight. And at this point, it was more embarrassing to be overweight because I lost the weight before. So people remembered that I did. And then I'm like, I'm bigger now.
And they would see you and you could see that they would probably give you a look like.
She blew up.
That's tough.
For sure. Especially like after high school, right? Because you became that person like that got chubbier after high school. And which there's nothing wrong with that. But it just wasn't me. And what really drove me was I began to get social anxiety because of the way that I looked, which, people get social anxiety for different reasons, but it was just because I hated the way that I looked and I felt so insecure seeing people that I knew or meeting new people and wondering what they thought of me and just everything. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't want to smile because my cheeks are too chubby or I'm getting a double chin. That's what would worry me when I would talk to a stranger who's not even thinking about that, but I am. Right? Or the thing that would really get me too is in my work environment. If I would get lunch, I would eat it at my desk because I'm like, I don't want people to judge me in the lunchroom for eating this because I'm judging myself for eating this. Yeah. Right? And the thing is that maybe someone is and maybe someone's not, but you're just so hyper focused on what other people think. And I hated that.
It's like the person who's in the gym and they think people are looking at them, and then that's why they don't want to go to a public gym.
Oh yeah.
It's like this similar situations when you're going through this. So are you in the privacy of your home trying to do body positivity? Are you talking to yourself in the mirror saying that you're okay, nothing's wrong? Are you doing these as well?
I would say it's 50-50. Every day was different. I would look at myself and I would say, I'm not that bad.
So that's one thing I want to touch on. So I had my weight loss struggles in the past as well, right? And I had two therapists on the show in my last episode. I had Haley and Christine, and we talked a little bit about social anxiety, my personal one, with also being overweight. And one thing I would try to do when I was doing my weight struggle is I would try to do the body positivity, right? I would look myself in the mirror and I would tell myself like, hey, I look good. I'm okay. I don't need to lose weight. I look good, right? And I would feel good when I'm saying it. I would feel good. But as soon as I would get away from that mirror and walk into a public area, all that shit would go out the door, right? And that's when I knew I was lying to myself. And there's a lot of people that are out there lying to themselves that are unhealthy. They're not truly happy with how they look. And they're constantly comparing themselves with people on social media, which people need to realize all these people on social media, a lot of them are lying as well and photoshopping their pictures and doing these angles and cameras and lighting. But either way, stop lying to yourself because that's only going to lead you down a deeper rabbit hole of depression and sadness and social anxiety. you need to actually get to the root core of the issue. If you're having to lie to yourself daily, that is not body positivity.
No.
And I think it's more than just lying to yourself. I think it's, you know, the way that you view everything, the way that you view life, the way that you view others. I remember I used to like look at girls and feel overwhelmingly insecure and envious. And then I would like hate them because I wanted to look like that so bad.
And jealousy is a normal human emotion, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And it's okay to feel a little bit of jealousy,
Yeah.
you know, but you have to recognize it. And then you have to realize, why am I jealous? Where is this rooting from?
Yes. And, you know, body language is everything. And then like the clothes that I was wearing, and it all comes together, especially in social environments. Like I just knew that I wasn't happy with myself.
Yeah.
And it feeds like everything. Like I'm not happy with the way that I look because I can't buy the clothes that I want to wear because they don't fit me. Or because the sweater that I used to like, that I used to wear last fall, it doesn't fit me anymore. And that makes me feel horrible about myself.
Yeah.
And now I don't have anything that I feel comfortable wearing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I was talking to X about this Sunday. It's not that I'm happy with the way that I look now. It's that I love the way that I feel. I never walk out of the door wondering like, do I look fat today? Or are people going to judge me because of these leggings that I'm wearing? Because I've always liked to wear printed leggings, even when I was a little bigger. And I always felt like people were judging me because of the printed leggings because I was bigger. No one might have been judging me, but I was judging myself.
Right.
And I never walk out of the door feeling insecure. I never look in the mirror and I'm like picking myself apart in every little aspect. My arms look big, or I don't know, I need to put my hair down to cover my cheeks. I never do that because I'm just happy with the way that I feel. I look and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, like I am who I am.
Yeah.
I see who I truly am because I'm happy with myself. And it's not just because of the way that I look. It's because I know that I'm like a well-balanced, disciplined person, that I live the way that I preach, and that's that.
Yeah. And we're not saying this stuff to attack anybody, right?
No.
Like if you're listening to this and you're getting frustrated or you're getting infuriated by the things we're saying, sometimes you need to hear this.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, one person I love is David Goggins, right? Because he's very unfiltered.
Yeah, I love him
And
too.
there's-
Yeah, he's good.
You know, there's something that he says. He goes, if people are calling you fat, well, you know what? You're probably fucking fat.
Yeah.
You know, it might,
You're not wrong.
You know,
Yeah.
it might be mean, but you should probably do something about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people need to hear that. You know, sometimes you need to get the less empathetic approach. And sometimes
Yeah.
people need to be like, hey, like, go get healthy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're truly happy with who you are, like truly happy, and you're not lying to yourself, then you know what? Live your life. Live your
Yeah.
best life.
But you know what? A lot of people aren't.
Right. That's
And
the thing.
and I say that because I deal with women every single day, and I know you do too, and I know
Right.
X does too as trainers.
Absolutely.
And I just know because I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you guys wearing these baggy t-shirts? Like, you guys look great. You guys have lost 15 pounds. They're like, well, I don't know. Like, I just can't put on a crop top or something like that. And I'm like, I want you to get to a point where you're going to go buy a crop top.
Yeah.
And you're going to wear it and you're not going to
Confidently.
feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to feel not just confident. You're going to feel like you have superpowers. Like, yeah, I did that. And I can, and I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. I think the issue is a lot of people feel like they're trapped in this mindset, and they feel like if they even if they get to the goal weight that they want, that they're still going to be unhappy and sad because they see one or two people say that, right? Like I'll see posts
Yeah,
on social media on that, right?
Yeah, I get those DMs every day.
Right. And everybody's different though.
Absolutely.
Because I went through my weight struggle. My heaviest weight was 250. I was big. I stopped working out for a year. I started to develop social anxiety. And now since I lost the weight, I'm in shape. I'm so much better mentally. So much better mentally. I am so much more confident about who I am. When I walk into a room, I love walking into giant crowds and talking to people because of who I am and what I've built.
Yes.
You know, and you cannot teach that. You cannot learn that. You can only experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a conversation with someone recently talking about, you know, how people change after they lose weight.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, she changed because she lost weight. Well, yeah, You have to change to lose weight.
Yeah.
You have to make different habits. You have to be a totally different person if you want to lose.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
You become a totally different person.
Yeah, and X saw that right before his eyes. So
yeah, you become a totally different person not just the things you do, but how you talk and how you talk about yourself and how you feel about yourself, or even how you go about wanting to do things.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even down to like, oh, I want to do this. It's like, I'm gonna do this because I know I fucking can.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
Yeah. So X got me this like bodysuit for my birthday 2 days ago, and
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. It's a one-piece bodysuit, has like exposed back and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this today. X was like, you're gonna wear it to Disneyland? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it to Disneyland. It's super cute, and I want to.
And I'm the shit.
Yeah, period.
That's right.
Yeah. And I did. And I mean, I got compliments and stuff. And it's not about what other people think about me. Yeah. And it's just because I love myself.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of the body that I have. I'm proud of the discipline I've created. I'm proud that I can help others do the same. You know, that's the energy that I want to give out. I don't want to give the energy of I lost weight and I'm skinny now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not the message you want to give. No. That's completely different, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think that that's what we're trying to do here. Like, lose weight, you're going to be happy. No, there's ups and downs and failures and triumphs that come along the way, right?
Definitely.
And one thing that's going to be very important is having a solid support system. So obviously the entire way you had Xavier, right? And so for someone like you, Xavier, to see your wife go through this transformation, how did that make you feel when you seen her kind of flourish into this new human?
That's a good question. I think it made me happy for her, first of all. I, through the 9 years it'll be in February, I never looked at her differently. From the moment we dated till even now, you know. Obviously now she's smoking hot. But she always has been in my eyes regardless. I never really, I even tell her there was been moments where she's like, do you see this picture, how I used to look then and now? And I'm like, I'm even surprised because I look back at that picture
and you don't remember that, right? You're
no, because like, how I see her now, right now, is like what I remember seeing her 9 years ago when we first started dating. You know, there was never, and I knew she did have her struggles and she would always talk about it, and helping her through it was challenging, just because I was learning. I didn't really have that opportunity to like I was trying to figure out a way of how to come about it as far as motivating her. Yeah,
because it was a learning process.
A learning process for me as well. You know, being able to talk her through things and kind of help her build that confidence regardless of where she was and in what phase of her life through her journey she was going through. Her journey definitely brought light to me as far as being able to gain confidence in yourself, and being able to tell yourself, like, as you go through the process, like, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to put everything in it. To this day, I don't know, other than people who are on prep, I don't know anybody outside of prep that's as consistent and as devoted to her passion with health, fitness, and maintaining the way she looks and pushing to look better. She has the utmost discipline, and I tell everybody that. I'm like, you'd be surprised, Andrea has way more discipline than I do. I'm always the one that's, oh, let's go do this, or I want to go have this, you know. And she's always, up until probably recently, probably within the past year or two since we got married. Before that, it was like, no, like I'm gonna have my chicken and rice, or I'm gonna have my chicken salad.
Perfect example was right before this podcast.
Yeah, literally.
Of her discipline.
Yeah, literally.
So before this podcast, I brought, so my wife Bree, she made these pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
They
delicious.
Look great.
And I brought them to the podcast, and I brought one for each of us.
Yeah, they're bomb.
And I was like, do you guys want one? And Xavier said yes, and Andrea said no, it doesn't fit my macros.
Yeah.
It is
Literally.
what it is.
Yeah.
Literally.
And so it's like you're living it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to because unfortunately I don't have the body type or the genetics that I am naturally lean.
Right.
Or I'm naturally thin.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like you've accepted who you are and you have to play the cards you're dealt.
Oh yeah.
You have to play the cards you're dealt, because a lot of people they would rather bitch and complain about the hand that they got in life.
Yeah.
And that solves nothing.
Nothing at
yeah.
all. It's like, what you're complaining. Well,
What is that gonna do?
Do something about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and I have plenty of people that I know that complain about their work life, how they feel about themselves, and I'm like, what are you gonna do about it? They're like, I know I gotta do this and this. Well,
execute.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a perfect example for myself because my older brother, he has a very fast metabolism. He's 5 years older than me, so he can eat
Lucky
pretty
guy.
much whatever he wants.
Lucky
He's always
guy.
had a 6-pack, and I have the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And I have my before and after picture on my Instagram of how big I used to be. But I used to be that person who would complain about it and be like, well, he has a faster metabolism. He can eat whatever he wants. It's bullshit. It's so unfair. Life this,
I
life that.
understand
And then once I kind of came to the realization of, you know what? This is the cards I'm dealt. Nothing is ever going to change this. There's no energy drinks that are going to change. There's not a pill that's going to change. There's just not a fat burner that's going to change. There's just not a steroid that's going to change this. This is the hand I am dealt in life, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Yep.
Once I made that realization and said that to myself, that's when everything changed. And I said, okay, how do I play the best hand with these cards I have? And next thing you know, I'm an Olympic world champion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Olympia world champion, right?
But think about it this way: if we were naturally lean, strong people without trying, then we wouldn't enjoy it as much, I would say.
Probably.
We do this now, and what we have, like, our bodies are not just our trophy, right? What truly is a trophy is like having discipline instilled in you. And like, people tell me like, oh, like, I can't believe like you're not gonna eat that, oh my gosh. And I'm like, well, like, it's because I don't want to, because I don't want to feel bad the next day.
Yeah.
I don't want to look down the road 6 months later and say, oh my gosh, those jeans don't fit me anymore.
And the thing is, you're not depriving yourself, right? I don't want people to think that you're depriving yourself either. The thing with tracking macros, that allows you to eat the foods that you want and still stay within your caloric intake, so you're still within the body type that you enjoy and that you're comfortable in.
Yep.
So you're not starving yourself, right?
No.
But what you said, you're like, I'm going to take that cookie home, and then tomorrow I'll make it fit my macros.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll put it in my macros tomorrow, and I'll have it right before my workout. And the thing is, I also want to say that I coached myself through my weight loss with my nutrition.
Yes.
X coached me through fitness, right? So he programmed my lifts. I did my own cardio on top of the lifts because I had to. I would walk for an hour to 2 hours every single day. I don't have to do that anymore because, I got through that struggle. But I used macros, and I wanted to still eat a lot every single day because I have a very big appetite. I ate over 200 calories. I ate over 2,000 calories all throughout my weight loss. And I just knew that I had to stay strict with my macros, eat a lot of protein, work out as much as I could, and then the results will come.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never cut out anything unless it didn't fit my macros.
And so that's good that you said that, because in reality, we are all trainers here, but you do not need a trainer to lose weight, right? Like you just said, you did it all on yourself. Your husband helped you with the weightlifting, and I was the same way. I did everything myself. I researched so much online. There's so much free information out there. And if you don't even have the dedication, the will to want to go and teach yourself a little bit, you probably truly don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're crying in your bedroom talking about how you're trying to lose weight, but yet if I look at your Google search and you haven't researched one thing, how to lose weight, you're probably not really that serious about it. And you probably just enjoy playing victim. And again, people are going to feel attacked by this, which is okay. But in reality, there's a lot of people who enjoy playing victim because it gets them attention.
And you know what? I would listen to I would listen to YouTube a lot while I would walk for 2 hours every single day.
Yeah.
And I would sometimes, watch like macro-friendly recipes, right? And then I would learn how to make something good, right? That would help me get through my day.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also watch the harsh stuff too, and that's what really helped me.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta have a balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not all sunshine or rainbows.
That's
baby.
right.
Oh, yeah. This guy taught me a lot. Like, he would tell me, like, don't be a bitch and get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're right. I'm going to get it done.
You need those people.
And it would, I would listen to these YouTube videos, and they would say, like, if you don't want it that bad, then you're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I'd be sitting there and I'm like, no, there's nothing I want more in this world to just look in the mirror and like not feel like I want to change my stomach, or I want to do this. I want to look in the mirror and just be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to be like perfect, right? There's always going to be something that you want to make better. Yeah. But there does come a point where you can be happy. Mm-hmm. And you can be like, because everyone says they want to look good naked, right? Yeah. Like, you will, and you can. You absolutely can. Mm-hmm. Even if you feel like horrible and you don't want to look at yourself naked and you want to get dressed in the dark, because I've been there, you can get to a point. Like, imagine that.
It's a fun point.
It's a fun point. It's not just fun, it's enlightening. Yeah. To like just literally put on a bikini as a girl. You guys don't wear bikinis. But to get to wear a bikini and just be like, yeah, mm-hmm. I feel fine.
And if you're out there and if you're one of those people who are like, I've tried everything, you haven't.
No, or you just haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah, or consistently enough.
That's right.
There's always a way to figure out weight loss. Even if you have a slow thyroid, even if you have a slow metabolism, even if you have this, that, you know what? Sometimes metabolisms, I heard a good metaphor years ago, and this guy said, everyone has a different metabolism speed, and some people have a motorcycle, other people have a beach cruiser. Where you're going to get to your destination, some people just have to work a little bit harder than others, and you have to be consistent. Yep. But eventually you will reach your destination.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we got beach cruisers.
Yes, I do.
We cruising.
Very, very slowly.
But we made it.
Yeah. And, I get messages all the time like, well, you eat this now and stuff like that. Well, like, the beauty of a journey is that it has, so many different parts of it, right? And it's not about getting to, for me, it was 150 pounds. It's not about getting there and then you're going to feel the ultimate joy. No. It's about me eating pizza on the weekends, and then the next day I go to the gym.
You constantly are doing that too.
I eat pizza every weekend. But then the next day I go to the gym. I feel freaking awesome. Yeah. I have a bomb leg day, and then the following day I have a low weigh-in.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing about my journey right now in this point. Yeah. And then I have different points where I'm like, the best part of my journey right now is that I haven't had pizza in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And that's just what a journey is.
It cycles.
It cycles. Yeah. Yes. And fitness is not like, someone told me the other day, well, you're just chasing something always, right? You're never like content. Well, that's kind of the type of person that everyone should be.
It's kind of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to a point where you get a nice car and then that's it.
It's literally the quote, the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Literally.
You can never catch it and be sedentary.
Yeah.
You constantly have to pursue it.
I heard something similar. It doesn't pertain to fitness, but it was a professional golfer, Rory McIlroy. He just won like a tournament this past weekend, and I think he's like up there with the wins as close as Tiger with whatever. But anyways, they asked him, they're like, because it took him like, he was on like a drought for like 5-7 years of him not winning major championships. Anyways, they asked him like, does this feel like the same as before? He's like, honestly, I come out here and I'm still trying to figure out golf.
Yeah.
Like I'm still pursuing to perfect this game. He's like, but I know I'm never going to perfect it. He's like, but that's the beauty of me coming out here every single morning to try and perfect it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So I do want to go past now the whole weight loss thing and go into you guys opening up your gym.
Our gym,
Our
right?
gym. That's right.
You guys are the owners.
Yeah, but it's everyone's. That's there.
It's your world. I'm just living in it. So it's your guys' baby. You guys have Savage Fit Club in Ontario, California. It is a private training facilities for trainers and their clients. I am one of your trainers there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the facility because, one, it's gigantic for being a private gym. It's not a small closet. You guys have a huge array of machines, dumbbells, everything you could possibly think of. And one thing I love is that it's not completely open to the public, right? So when you walk in, it's pretty much just trainers and their clients, and you have this secludity within the gym where people who are in there to work. Yep. We're not in there to bullshit. We're not in there to get with girls, for people who are single, but it's like we're in there to work.
Yeah.
We're in there with our clients. We want people to be optimal. We want people to get the results. But before you guys started Savage Fit Club, you guys had Savage Garage Fit Club.
Savage Fit Club Junior.
Savage Fit Club Junior. That's what Andrea calls it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You guys started the gym originally in your garage. How did that come into fruition to open up an actual gym?
Well, to kind of just quickly rewind, before the garage, I was doing personal training at a small gym in Chino Hills. Mm-hmm. Andrea wasn't training at that moment. She was just pretty much going through her weight loss journey, her fitness journey,
figuring it out.
And she was pretty much getting, at that point, ready for our wedding because we had recently gotten engaged, and COVID hit and it forced me to stop training out of that gym. Mm-hmm. I stopped training for about a couple months, and then I was like, well, I need to start working to make money. And I had a squat rack and a barbell and a couple of plates. Had a Smith machine, but I ended up selling it. Ended up getting equipment for my garage that I had at the time, and that was June of 2019. 2020. And that same summer, Andrea started her internship at a bootcamp gym where she started training individuals and started learning how to become a personal trainer. And that's where kind of it took off from that point. From that point on, we kind of collabed together to open up the garage at her house where we brought all of my equipment. We started buying equipment, and that was fall of 2020. And we had clients almost as much as we have today, training morning, evening, sometimes weekends. But it was a small 500 square feet place with the garage, and we had a little canopy outside with all the machines and even carpet laid out. So
I don't know if you've seen pictures of it.
I've seen a few.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think back in the day, and we still have clients that were training with us out of there, and for them to be here with us at Savage Fit Club now,
that speaks volumes.
It's pretty surreal.
I still have clients.
I had just posted something on Instagram story a couple days ago, and every night when I close the gym by myself and I look at the gym and I think about how it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if I were to imagine where we are at now, I would have never believed it. But then it got to the point where we were like, hey, we want to kind of we started popping the idea. I think we can really do this. Let's go get a gym. We know it's COVID, but this is the perfect opportunity to seize the moment and open a business and get people to come to our private gym, because that's what people are going to want to start coming to. Right. Because commercial gyms were kind of iffy about certain times and people were wearing masks.
Times were tough.
Yeah. People didn't like wearing masks at the gyms. Yeah. So it was just like a weird time of us figuring it out. And my friend Griffin, who I worked with at my first gym that I worked with, he was doing mobile training, going to people's houses, and he would come over to our garage gym and work out with us in the middle of the day.
Every single day.
Monday through Friday, like same time, it was like 1:00. We'd train and brainstorm, talk about different ideas of what we wanted to do as far as collabing to create this gym.
It was all literally we were all talk at first.
At first, yeah.
Like, we're like, we can get our own gym.
Yeah.
The three of us together, yeah, we could work alongside each other. We like each other
we
enough.
don't need much. We just need some barbells.
Yeah, we're like, we could just take this squat rack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many clients do you have? Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, and we're just talking, just shooting the shit, just like throwing out these ideas of us getting a gym and not knowing what we had in store for us when we actually opened. But fast forward just a couple months later, early New Year's of 2021. We actually started looking, like calling about maybe financing equipment, looking around to different places, literally driving
around for hours,
finding corporate places, commercial buildings that were potentially leasing. And you'd be surprised at the time we were getting a lot of no's as far as, what kind of business you guys want to run? And we would say gym, like, no. Sorry, we're not opening gyms, because no one really wanted to have the gym because
they might close down.
Correct.
Yeah, they weren't sure.
They weren't sure.
Or they would say, how much years like of business experience do you have? And I'm like, 6 months.
Yeah. So we had locked in a spot that we thought it was actually going to happen, and it didn't end up happening just because
I think it's because of our business experience.
Yeah, and us being young, because she definitely continued to question our age.
Like, so you're 24.
The property manager.
Yeah.
More so than the actual owner, because they had someone running the property for them, and she was just asking what times you guys are be there, how many clients, all these questions where it's just like, irrelevant. Okay, you're just kind of poking around and trying to find something wrong.
Yeah.
So we said, no, sorry, we're good. And then Griffin presented the opportunity to us. He actually presented this opportunity to us prior to us picking this original spot, and said, hey, I have a client of mine who works at the airport with admin, and he said, like, he could probably put us into contact with the leasing manager and get us to lease a spot at the hangars. And I'm like, an airport hangar, like.
And we weren't really thinking about Ontario that much either, since most of our clients were in Chino.
Yeah, we were trying to stay
we
Chino.
We were all Chino based.
I was leaning a little bit Pomona because I was thinking spaces were going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
But Andrea and Griffin didn't like the idea of Pomona just because of
safety.
Maybe not liking the area.
It's a little ghetto.
Yeah, it depends.
I wasn't thinking just ghetto, just because just safety, because like some female clients are at the gym early or too late, and they don't want to walk to their cars after, etc.
Yeah, so we were like, well, we don't have any other choice. Let's just go look at it. And
Griffin, I said no so many times.
Yeah.
And he seriously, like, he pulled me aside one day and he's like, I think we should go.
We should at least just go just check it out. If we don't
like
it, we don't.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I told him no.
Yeah.
And we're comfortable, speaking to each other like straight up. And I told him no. And I think he bought a piece of equipment, because we were buying equipment with no place to go.
Oh my gosh.
We had another garage full of equipment
we already had
that were in boxes with no actual spot. We were just like, we're just gonna buy it.
We're buying it and holding it until we get the gym.
Much. And he bought this piece of equipment that I really wanted, and he's like, come on, I bought this piece of equipment that you really wanted. And I was like, fine.
That's why he bought it?
I think so.
Oh my goodness. So we ended up taking the trip and we went to go look at it. They showed us a few hangars of people who drive up and know where the gym's at. They showed us that first hangar in the parking lot. We actually liked that because it was one of the newer hangars, but they had said they were hosting events there, and that some days we would have to kind of close the operation down in the gym. I'm like, I'm not closing down operation any day of the gym.
Yeah.
And they kind of showed us around different spots at the other hangars, and then we saw the spot where Savage Fit Club is currently at, and I was like, what about this corner? And then they're like, oh, I think that's possible, because they had like a bunch of just more junk there, unfortunately. And I was like, I looked at the corner. I'm like, there's a door there. There's a door there. There's the double garage doors. I think I'm like, Griffin, that's the corner right there. I'm like, just think of, just look at it and just think of the gym going down all this way.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, how much space will we be able to take? They're like, well, as much as you want, really. Or like, say less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up finalizing paperwork.
We said yes that day. I'm like, yes.
Literally, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Said yes. And then we told her dad, because her dad's like, oh, let me look at it just to make sure. And just a second opinion. And we trust his opinion just because him being a businessman. And he was right away, he's like, get double the space than yours are going to get.
Yeah.
And
he was
adamant about us doing it. He's like, just do it. And
he's like, actually get more than that.
Get more than that. Yeah, and we unfortunately said no, because we were just like, we didn't want to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Because it was just us three.
It was just us three. We didn't know.
Actually, I had recruited Mo before we had a spot.
Hey, shout out to Mo.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, Mo.
Shout out to Mo.
We're about to have a gym.
He believed in our vision.
And he believed in it, and so yeah, we ended up sticking to the space that we agreed on, and now looking at it, I regret it not getting more of the space, just because the process of trying to get more space in there.
Everything happens,
but it happens for a reason. It's okay. We have there's plenty of space regardless.
More than money,
mm-hmm.
But so it ended up happening, and we got keys officially.
It was the week of my bachelorette.
It was first week of June. First week of June. So June 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So literally a year after I started training in my garage.
Wow.
From COVID.
Wonderful.
I was training in literally the size of this room. It was like a
10
by 10 garage. Like I was using half of the garage, because the other half was like my parents' stuff with like their washer and dryer and their garage stuff, But yeah, and here we are a year and a half later with ourselves and 8 other personal trainers in the gym, and
I couldn't be happier with the team that we have, with the individuals that we're blessed to have walk into the gym every single day. My days wouldn't be the same without all of you guys, and I remember like crying, and I said I don't cry a lot, but I remember crying because I didn't want to train at my garage anymore. I knew that wasn't where I wanted to be. Right. And I saw my clients, they loved it, but I'm like, they deserve more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told X, I'm like, we can't do this anymore. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. And then the first day we trained at Savage Fit Club, it was surreal.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is ours.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was just
like we finally have a space.
Yeah. Yeah, we were so used to training in the garage where me and her were 5 feet apart, training one client at a time.
Not even and then 3 clients each, and no space.
Yeah, and then going to a 6,000 square foot gym, and I'm on one side and she's on the other side, and it's a lot. It's quiet.
I lost so much weight the first month working there because from walking.
Walking.
Yeah. I was like, how am I losing so much weight? I'm like, my God, my step count.
Yeah. So, but as far as the gym, there's so much more plans to go forward.
Oh yeah.
We're in the process of making it from 6,000 to 10,000 square feet. In a matter of hopefully in a couple months, hopefully by the new year.
By New Year.
That's the
by the
goal,
new year we will. Yeah,
for sure.
And way more equipment.
So am I allowed to promo you guys and say, if you're a trainer out there listening, if you're looking for a home, Savage Fit Club, come check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're always welcoming to any and all trainers of all levels, different expertise, different niches. We don't want to just...
We have the space.
Correct. We have the space to make it happen for you, depending on what it is you want to specialize in. We just recently brought in Ren, who's a kickboxing cardio coach who does a little bit of strength training as well, but he brought in a lot of his kickboxing and boxing bags, which we're going to eventually develop the extra space into
a whole section
for him.
Yeah. He has a lot of good equipment too.
So definitely, there's definitely different avenues we've thought about taking the gym, making it into a sports like training facility where we have just squat racks and a lot of turf where we can bring in sports teams and sports trainers to train these athletes, strength and conditioning coaches, etc. But that's down the road right now. It's still early stages of us still developing it and still learning. It's been a learning process just through everything that we've done, because I've owned a meal prep business before, but not a gym business. It's completely different.
Dealing with a lot more people.
And just to let people know too, you guys barely had your official grand opening in June
of this past year.
Of this year of 2022.
Yeah.
So you guys are like fresh out of the gate still.
Yeah.
And to see how much you guys have progressed throughout this year, and obviously I see it personally because I work at the gym, has been nothing short of incredible, to be honest, especially for you two, and including Griffin being so young. And I sent a group text to all you guys recently, right? Like last week. And I was like, hey, even though people might not tell you, we truly appreciate everything you guys are consistently doing in the gym. Because we see it. If people don't tell you thank you, like we see it. Whenever you guys bring new equipment in, anything, like we see it. And it's very appreciative, because you guys aren't these gym owners that are never there, right? Because you'll have sometimes these gym owners that are not really involved, right? They kind of just show up, they'll sit in the office, they'll leave, they collect their payment, and they're not really too involved. And next thing you know, the gym's closed down.
And that's something that's from the get-go we didn't want to.
You guys are there every single day, 7 days a week, literally 7 days a week. And you guys are putting in the work day in, day out, and it shows.
And I think the reason why it's so easy for us to do it, not saying that it is easy, but it's easy to want to be there at the gym every single day, is because I was that person that wanted a gym to feel like a home. I was that gym goer, and I would look at gym owners and I would see like, oh, like they're so cool because they're always here, you know, like that's so awesome, like to have a safe space like that. And I always wanted to create that for someone who was like me, because for multiple reasons. And that's just what I want to create, and it's not, the work is not done right now. It's barely starting. I'm barely figuring out life and owning a gym, and I just hope to be better every single day for everyone.
So what are the future plans for Savage Fit Club? Like, as far as expansion, do you guys plan on wanting to open another gym somewhere?
Yes, but depending on the opportunity, of course, but knowing myself, Griffin and Andrea, I think we're pretty on the mindset right now where we want this location that we're at right now to be actually, I wouldn't say done and done, but to the point where we feel comfortable enough to open up a second one, because if we were to open up a second one, it's going to take some focus off. But definitely that is the vision down the road, is open up another location. More so maybe on the direction of LA we've talked about, or in the direction of like Palm Springs area. Like out there, essentially. Somewhere in those two directions. But that's kind of like the long-term goal. That's definitely something that we want to do. It's something that we probably wouldn't franchise out. We'd want to keep it private, because we're in the gym business. There's a lot of gyms out there that do franchise out their gyms, and it does change the energy.
It can water down the quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't say and better. It's most of the time it's not a straight line across of every single franchise gym by the same name is exactly the same.
Yeah, because every community is going to bring a different energy, right? Absolutely. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I love the community that we have at the gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's everyone's clients are friends, and everyone's like just the trainers, everyone gets along, and it's nice. And I'm like, I don't know if I could duplicate that.
It's very non-competitive, right?
I love that about the gym.
It's very, very non-competitive between the trainers. And I've heard horror stories that trainers at different gyms where they feel like they're always in competition, right? They're always trying to one up another one. And that's kind of the odd thing about Savage Fit Club, is you don't get that feeling at all. Everyone's like, we're all, like you said, we're all friends. We all keep a really good camaraderie, and we all know each other's clients as well. Which is funny.
I don't know how it just became that way, right?
Yeah, it's a really good relationship that we all have.
I think it's just, I hope that it's because us as owners are there every single day, and we try to balance out that, or, keep out any negative energy. And maybe our vibe is magnetic.
It sets the tone, right?
Yeah. And that's something, like, as we became Savage Fit Club, that we talked about, is we didn't want no negative energy, no bad influences within the gym. And if anything were to come into the gym like that, we would be sure to
nip it in the bud.
And if it wasn't nipped in the butt by whoever it was, see you later.
Yeah.
And, you know, no offense to you as an individual, but I'm not going to accept you as a person in my gym if you're going to negatively affect the environment and change the outlook and the community within our gym.
Yeah, it takes only one bad apple
Exactly.
to change the entire image of a gym. And I've seen that happen with certain gyms where you have like one bad trainer or one bad influencer that kind of comes in and changes almost the entire look of the gym, right? And then all of a sudden people are like, oh, that gym?
So and so goes there.
Yeah,
I hear they have a lot of this there.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's kind of what you do. That's exactly what you don't want.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, if you like you mentioned, of not of it being a good environment when you walk in, I think it's because a lot of us there, one, are personable to each other, and we respect each other's businesses and what we do there to our clients. You know, we're all there for the same reason, is to, as we talked about from the very beginning, is help our clients feel better about themselves. You know, and if we're setting this precedent that we're trying to make others not feel good about themselves, then that's going to change the whole outlook of the environment.
Right. So for people who want to find you guys and train with you guys, both of you guys offer online training and in-person training. So how can people reach out to you if they want to get in contact?
My Instagram is Andrea MPM. My online coaching Instagram is Coach Andrea Training. And I'm accepting online coaching clients, in-person training clients. I'm really motivated right now to help anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
To find me, it's all my handles are @_CoachX. So it's pretty easy. I have a link in my bio for all applications for online and in-person training, and I believe Andrea does as well. So if you need to find us, find our profile and just go to the link. Anybody looking to become a client or member of Savage Fit Club, DM us and we'll set you up with the right trainer.
Yeah.
And any trainers looking for a home, a good environment with positive energy and
supportive community,
support system that is by far the best I've seen around ever. Don't be afraid to hit us up and come check out the gym. Check out Savage Fit Club.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed results and guaranteed awesome vibes.
There you go. Well, Andrea, Xavier, I truly appreciate you guys for taking the time, sitting down with me and having this amazing conversation. I'll see you guys tomorrow at work.
Probably.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. And for everybody else listening, if you're watching on YouTube, please do me a huge favor and make sure you like and subscribe. And if you guys want to leave a comment, I appreciate that as well. If you guys are listening on Apple iTunes, you guys can leave up to a 5-star review. By leaving those reviews, it helps push the podcast higher up on the charts and lets it be more well known. So please, if you guys can do that, I truly appreciate it. And we shall see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Hey, we did it, guys.
Oh, that sounds so much different.
That's bad.
Yeah.